David Elliot and Tyler Albee, and I'll let a village forward.
Yes.
And the name, you have to explain the name and its relevance to what the product does after you tell us what the product does. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good. I always find it interesting when people say it's good to be here before I get to talk to them. I'd rather you'd say it was good to be here at the end, but I think most people don't feel that way at the end. They go, this guy is so boring. Now, why don't you tell us what Village Forward is?
Sure. Village Forward was started about 7 years ago as a nonprofit to develop a household water treatment system based on a micro-business model. And it began when we met a man by the name of Ron Rivera from Potters for Peace. And Ron had developed some 10 years earlier a very simple clay pot that was soaked in some colloidal silver, and he had gone around the world for some 12 or 13 years showing people how this would deactivate E. coli and other microorganisms. So when we met Ron, I hired a young man from Nepal, and we took a course on how to make this pot, and over the next 2 years we developed it into an actual product, a household water treatment system. We went back to Kathmandu and started the first micro business, which was a local potter who made these household systems to treat contaminated water, basically, in the Kathmandu Valley. 7 years later, we now have about 11 micro businesses running, and just a month ago, UNICEF placed an order for 50,000 of the so-called Aquasif household systems. So this has been a very exciting project. We've gotten some grants from Rotary International and worked with some other nonprofits inside Nepal and some outside, including some in India. And at this point, we are looking for a larger partner in India to scale this up and basically take it to a larger number of people. So Village Forward has a small office and labs here in Sudbury where we do bacterial testing and where we develop the Aquasif. But the main model now is all of the micro businesses we start in Nepal become self-standing. They make the units and sell them into their local villages. And so we're providing jobs for people as well as getting safe drinking water. And at this point we have a considerable amount of health data to prove the efficacy of the silver killing the E. coli by a very simple mechanism, actually. The silver gives off a slight charge called zeta potential, and that charge is sufficient to isolate oxygen from the microorganisms so they suffocate. So it's a basically simple and non-toxic way of killing microorganisms, and it's very efficient. There's a tiny amount of silver, maybe 30-40 cents worth of silver needed to make the Aquasif. And one of the benefits is that the whole system is about $5 cost to a person, a family in Nepal or India, so that for $5 they can get a way to treat their water. And 6 years later, our systems are still killing the E. coli. The silver really doesn't wear out. It has a permanent staying power inside the clay filter. So that's been a little bit of the history. And going forward, we're talking to people about the next step, the next thing we might develop. And people said, can you make a small portable water filter? And Tyler came on board not too long ago, working with a small team of 3 or 4 other people, and we've been now developing this small cartridge which uses the same silver technology to deactivate E. coli. And we've discovered a way to use a media, which we're about to file a patent on, that will deactivate all of the E. coli in a gallon of water in seconds. And I'd like Tyler really to tell us, he's the principal investigator, research person doing the testing of this new portable device. So perhaps he could tell us a little bit about the testing methods and some of the results we're getting. Tyler?
Tyler, let's go.
All right, well, the most recent experiment that we just did, which Dave was just mentioning, was that we were trying to find a curve for the kill rate of the media inside the device versus time that we shook it. And so we decided that with such short shake times of 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and 25 seconds, that we'd most likely see at least a few E. coli in a gallon of water. But it turns out that the device is so powerful that it killed all the bacteria in 10 seconds in an entire gallon of water. So